Aha!
Can't believe you've done this.
Production value.
I can't believe I've done this. Dude, I don't think I will ever recover from the Streamlabs Discord scenario no longer working the way that it did for like a solid 4 years, right? Like of my life. It is just ingrained. Hi everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Dungeon of the Mad Mage. We're back from break. When we left our heroes, they had ventured back up to the city of Waterdeep, at least some of them, to do some rest, relaxation, research, side jobs, etc. And we had just left them all as they were bedding down for the evening of the 12th, and just like that, you do the da da da. You know, everyone here's the anime music or the video game music in their head. No, not that music. Wrong music. That's the battle music.
You're choosing.
You hear the resting at the inn music.
That starts up soon, doesn't it?
So, so everyone can go ahead and gain the benefits of a long rest.
Cool.
And it is now the morning of the 13th. And
Shit,
to
I'm rested.
kind of keep things in an orderly kind of like spiel, we're going to do, you know, the assumed group meets up in the Lifted Spirits for morning events, and then we'll do events around the group for individuals themselves, and then we'll do any evening events that are required. So
were we gonna get alerted when we could go to the carvers to?
Not today, but tomorrow.
So yeah, so it will be the 14th is when you can go do the exchange. Yeah, Ochotu is going to will have received Bones's missive this morning, and will go notify the guild of your plans. The guild will make arrangements, and then you guys can do a drop tomorrow. Blah, 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 blah.
Dead drops.
Yeah. Okay, so as Ashes, Matashtai, and Ezrah gather down in the Lifted Spirits to break their fast and go through any basic morning things that are happening there, Ezrah, you have a missive that has arrived for you from Raynair Neverember, and it is a very simple message that it has a short question. It says, "May I call upon you this evening?" And then there's actually a yes and a no underneath that.
Right, maybe encircle that.
Okay, you check yes, right? And the ink from the missive just kind of like fades and disappears.
Oh.
And then it's just a blank letter.
I need to learn it.
That's cool.
Give it to me, Jeremy. I want it.
Yeah. Okay, other things to worry about in this morning situation. This is the morning of the 13th.
Yes.
Oh boy. All right then. So I've got nothing else for morning activities. Does the group or anything else have morning activities before we move to the actual individual downtime days?
Magic list, so we can evaluate while you're doing downtime days.
Oh,
Magic
yeah.
list.
That's a great idea. Yeah. Okay, so let me pull up y'all's magic list. Here's the magic shop for the PPs. We've got Hammer 10. Name this to Hammer 11, 20. And is this the right page? I like the right page. That's the right page. Right. Well, it didn't keep the things.
It did not.
Unfortunately. Or unfortunate, but whatever. We can.
There you go.
We can fix that pretty easily. Boom. 2 things should be up. So peruse that while stuff is happening.
Jesus.
So peruse it while it's not your turn for now. Other group activities that need to be taken care of this morning. Anything, or are we ready to jump into downtime activities for the day?
Yes. First and foremost, I pull out the little box from the Order of the Gauntlet, is what I'm assuming.
Aha. The little box that arrived for you yesterday.
Yep.
Gotcha. So it has a stamped seal on it, right? Of a little silver hand.
Mm-hmm.
And when you open the box, within the box there's a little
probably what's her nuts.
There's a little rolled up piece of parchment, and then there's a little pouch.
I unravel the parchment.
Okay.
And read it out loud so that these two clowns can hear it.
Gotcha. Erky Durkey. Erky Durkey. Clownage. In a very kind of like elegant flowing hand, there is a note pinned on this, and it says, "For your service in rescuing a member of Waterdevian nobility, I award you this purse. It is small and without fanfare for reason. Trust that I value your aid and am deeply thankful for it. But I mustn't be seen to favor one group, nor can I make a habit of paying for a noble's life without anticipating it becoming expected and abused. United we stand. The Silver Hand."
Yep.
Wait.
How much?
And within the purse is a modest 20 gold.
Oh, hell yeah, 20 golds.
5 gold apiece.
To the bank.
As said, right? Like, it's
Ain't nothing wrong with 20 gold.
cannot, yeah. So, but anything else for morning activities?
Also, yes.
Okay, shoot.
What do we want to do with this ship?
Oh shit.
Sell it, bro.
What shit?
Ship with a P.
Bum 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 bum.
Shit with P. What?
Yes.
I think we should sell it.
But yes, I get that. That's the plan. What is
Okay.
our
What is
sales
your follow-up
strategy?
question?
What is
So
our
wonder-
sales strategy? Do we
Wonder
want to
around the
sell it
dock.
as a ship in the bottle?
Or do
Do
you
we
want
want
to
to
uncork the
unshoot-
bottle?
Unbottle it? Do we?
Well, I think that's a better question for someone who knows how much each is worth.
I don't know, man. I still think that, like, in a fight, we could just spawn a ship over somebody's head and
Just toss it like a grenade, and it's just.
That is
10,000
an
gold is
expensive
so
grenade.
much.
Cool.
That's an expensive grenade. And can
Yeah,
you imagine,
but bro,
right?
come
You guys
on.
throw it in the space of like the one location
We all
through
die.
a scenario. So like there's just the ship now blocking your exit down to the next level, and the only way for you to do it is Ezra has to like ferry everyone across with dimension doors.
Half of the
I'm
ship
curious what would
sail.
happen, right? If you threw it into a space, like a stone cave that's smaller than the actual boat, does it just like crumple, like the ship just collapses in on itself, or does it like bamf and it's like part of the wall now?
It probably wouldn't bamp. It would probably be a pressure
And
scenario
explode.
where it fills every space that it can, and all the rest of it is shrapnel that shoots down the tunnels around it. At you, nominally.
I mean, still.
I just want to say that half of the ship's sail pays for the silent alarm.
That's true.
Papa needs money.
So, but boatnade?
That's I looked. I understand both sides of this equation. Boatnade is cool,
it's fine.
but
We can
10K is also
absolutely
cool.
Sell it. It would be a complete waste of money to boatnade, but
That's how you guys
Oh.
actually take out Halaster, is you just hold on to the boatnade until the very end and you just throw it at him.
Look, I think the silent
Just
alarm should
banishes
just
it.
wait,
When it
right?
walks
Just wait,
away.
wait until the bar makes the money for its own alarm.
I think that's gonna take a while because we've been doing this a while and we've only got like what
600
400.
gold.
Was this like, was it 600? Well, either way, we've been doing this a long time, and it's going to take a while for us to get it. And I don't know if we've got that much time before something worse happens. I'm not even going to say before something bad happens, because bad
Like
things have
5
already happened.
in-game weeks.
It happened because we made a big purchase on the market. Who's to say we're not going to make another big
Another big purchase on the market.
The book attack was one thing. The poisoning was another, and don't forget about the explosion that didn't even involve us.
Yeah.
Well,
the very beginning.
yeah.
Like,
That's fair.
it's
All I'm saying is I need money, and I'm not able to fund an alarm for a building at this time. I'd rather hire 10 street urchins to walk around for 1 gold a week.
That's gonna go well. Sure.
that again. That's why I'm fine with selling our boatnade for building alarm.
Okay.
And I have enough currency potentially to front for it.
Yeah, it sounds like sell is the route that you guys are interested in, but now it's a matter of how do you want to go about doing that? Does anyone want to, like, does Matashtai want to see if his collector is going to have connections, or does someone want to go down to the docks and see if they can figure something out there, or do you want to approach a mage or maybe the Order of Mages and Protectors about it?
Down by the
like,
dock.
do you want to go the route of it in the bottle, or do you want to take it to the docks and be like, hey, I got a boat and a fucking bottle. I need some space to to drop it, right? And then have the fucking the I don't know, the dock
Ear
police
warden?
after your ass. Oh fuck. I don't
think
even
a collector is a cool idea, but I also think it's going to take a lot longer to sell.
probably, yeah. Anything that you take into the collection routes tend to be a little bit longer.
Like, if some rich bougie dude finds out he's got an actual boat in a bottle, I think that would be like that'd be like a really cool mantelpiece that he would probably pay more for
that's
than
what
what
you
a
could-
regular boat cost.
Could get it sold, right? That way, but it would probably take longer.
Yeah.
And again, the expectation, at least for me, was the high ticket items probably weren't going to
Honestly,
be.
I think probably what's going to be the best route, and I'm not saying I like this route, but we just find somebody who's willing to sell it, and we give them a finder's fee for doing so.
Well, that's kind of what you have when it comes to Shalara, who's the one who sold the Malarkin armor for you, and that you're thinking about doing the chessboard through as well.
What's her cut?
She normally takes about 10%.
10%. Lord of mercy.
I mean, that's
But she's
That's
doing
low.
all of the work to find buyers and coordinate it. Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
so she's not just putting it on the black market item list.
No.
Mm-hmm. On Hammerfall the 21st, we're not going to see ship in a bottle on there.
That would be really fucking funny, actually. That'd be really
my
funny.
God.
My dear lord, that would be
Can you
hilarious.
imagine?
You're gonna see it now.
The
Yes,
price.
I can imagine.
Imagine if Zach didn't call it out and that did happen. The just reaction that would elicit.
I'm somewhat sad that I will not be able to do that now.
And it's on sale for like 120,000 gold pieces or some bullshit like that.
Some
Hey, you get
stupid
10,000,
amount,
but
No, technically we get 9 because she's taking 10%.
yeah, I get that.
Well, 10
That's
is
if
the
we outsource
again,
the work.
yeah. Here's the other thing. 10 is what you guys as players know the value of a long ship to be, right? That's not to say that that's what you're going to get from this individual, or that's what you're going to get from a collector situation, etc., etc. So again, ideas on how you want to handle this.
I don't know. Seems magic and special. So let's put it on the magic list ourselves.
You guys don't currently get to do that.
Well, that's fucked up. Let's find someone that gets to do that.
Well, good luck.
I have a vendor's license. I can vendor things.
Sure.
He's just gonna put it in the window over.
You're just gonna put it in the window of the worm boat?
What's your place called? Bones and Scales.
The worm bone, and that's how you get Ochotu killed. So no, we're not gonna do that.
All right. It sounds like you guys are unsure, so if we need to, we'll just come back to this at a later date, or you guys can ruminate it over the course of this session, and if we need to retcon anything, we can. So y'all be thinking about it, and if we find a happy medium or a path that we want to take, we'll go that route, and otherwise we'll figure it out later. So, anything else to do as a group before we move into the individual downtime activities? Going once. Going twice.
Our last conversation topic.
All right, sounds like a plan.
What are you calling?
What?
Any morning talk.
Any more morning stuff?
Talk.
Yeah. Before we move into individual downtime activities.
The morning stuff. All right. No, we're good.
Okay,
I'm
sounds good.
Nothing to discuss.
Great. We're gonna go ahead and start in the bottom left corner with Bones. Bones, what are you doing today? What is your day?
Hey, it's me. I'm Bones.
Bones.
I like to wake up. Take a nice stretch. No, I'm joking. I'm gonna do a full work day, and I'm gonna have some fun with the goblins. I will approach them and propose that we play a super fun game of hide and seek. All of them get to seek me, and I'm gonna hide.
That sounds fantastic. Wait, they're like so you're going through, you're working throughout the day, and then you're approaching them about this thing. There's some meals in between, etc., etc. And you're like, okay, you're gonna hide. Y'all are gonna seek, and they're like, this sounds. Wait, what? Only you're hiding? We don't get to hide?
Oh no, you're right. We should break into teams,
Oh,
and
teams!
then we do a fun round robin draft.
Ah! Okay. Fantastic. Do you have a particular goal, or is this just a fun Bones and Skull Takers team building exercise?
Yeah, I'm trying to get them better at like perceiving and scouting.
Okay.
And then also, like hiding and lying in wait.
Gotcha. So, one, just building good habits, but two, potentially looking at stuff like.
I also feel like it would help build a little more like familiarity with cool places to hide.
Well, that's a given. But so mechanically, we're looking at potentially improvements for perception and stealth. What we're looking at here. So, do you have any aces, any shaved knuckles in the hole, or is this your plan?
I don't know what that means.
Any aces in the hole, any special like push yourself, give you an advantage or anything like that type scenarios.
I mean, I have a ring of invisibility.
Oh well, now you're just cheating.
Well, I'm not going to use it, but I'm just saying I could.
Cheater.
No. That is great. That's good to know that if Bones decides he doesn't want to, he can never be found by the goblins, basically. But what I meant more along the lines was from a instructional point of view, right? Like, is there a way that you are coaching your team, right? Or like giving pointers or things like that? Is there some special juice that you are delivering that the Skull Takers can gobble up?
Oh, yeah.
I saw Jay's face, and I just decided to commit.
I teach all of my team the water skin trick.
Oh, great. Okay.
Water skin trick.
Fantastic.
Throw it.
All right.
Oh, wait.
You throw it like around the corner, like stealthily, and you listen. You listen for the yelp and or reaction.
Yep. Okay. Sounds great. You already know what you're doing for your workday, right?
I do. Yes.
Okay. So go ahead and tick off that you've done your workday. And then we're going to do a roll for your Skull Taker activities. And this is kind of loosey-goosey for right now, but give me, and this is going to be, I I think with your proficiency bonus, right, but not with your skills, give me a d20 plus your proficiency bonus as kind of like a coaching your team.
24.
Ooh. Holy shit, natural 20!
20.
Woo!
The rogue's good at stealth!
Holy fuck! Okay, cool.
And perception. I am good at perception, too.
Okay, let me make notes here. So your team, and I'm assuming, right, like, you swap people around throughout the events, but your team invariably just dismantles the other team every single time.
I like swap sides.
But as you're doing it, right, like, you're noticing that certain individuals are picking up things that you're laying down, right? Like, tricks that you're showing them, things that you're looking out for. They start to, it's kind of like when you play hide and seek with your siblings too much, you start to recognize what all the best hiding positions are. So this actually doubles to get the Skull Takers more familiar with the 6th level than they already were, right?
Yeah.
So it's a fun little situation. So natural 20. So cool. Fantastic. I have that notated for perception and stealth, and you and I have talked about this already, but we're kind of loosey-goosey feeling out some of the rules for some of the Skull Taker events, so we'll see how that goes. As things are kind of like winding down, right? And there's kind of like preparations for an evening meal are being made. Hibble and Groin are off to one side after kind of like the last bout of hide and seek, and they're kind of complaining at each other. Do you wanna get involved or investigate or anything like that?
Yeah, what are they complaining about?
So you walk up, right, and
hey guys.
And as you're walking up, you hear Pibble go, "Ah, man, it stinks. I can't believe we have an uneven number of goblins. It just makes everything just weird." Right?
Should just kill one.
And you walk up, and as you walk up, Pibble and Groin both look over you and they go, "Oh, hey, boss," like in tandem. As that happens, the western door, to the heart of the mountain, which is unbarricaded at the moment because you guys were just kind of like messing around out in the random area. The western door is thrown open and a goblin walks in, a goblin you have never seen before. And Pibble and Groin both look at this goblin and they both, again in tandem, go, "Who the fuck are you?" And this goblin just goes, "Ah, I'm Churl." And Pibble and Groin go, "Okay. Hey, Churl." And then Churl just kind of like walks around and finds a spot and sits down.
I look at him. That's your process?
What process?
Exactly.
What do you mean? Who's Churl?
What do you mean, who's Churl? That's Churl.
Okay, but like, who is he?
I don't know, boss. When goblins need more goblins just show up.
That's good to know. All right, well, cool. I go talk to Churl.
You walk over to Churl and he's over by one of the pillars and he's grabbed a little satchel that has some like mushrooms in it from up in the Willowwood, and he shoves one in his mouth and he looks at it and he pulls it back out and it's covered in saliva and it's got a beetle like crawling on the inside of it, and he kind of picks it up and puts it down and then puts the mushroom back in his mouth.
The beetle was the problem. So, you a vegetarian?
No. Just don't like the crunch.
Fair. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so what's your deal?
What's
Where'd you come from?
Points to the door.
Cool. So where before that though?
I don't know. Blinked
Kill him
and
on
was
the
in the
spot.
hallway.
Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, makes sense to me. I mean, you weren't like affiliated with anyone.
I don't like affiliations.
Kind of like our whole deal here is the affiliation.
With us, though, right?
Yeah, with us. We're affiliated with each other.
Well, like, I don't like being affiliated with other things.
Like
Us
what?
is fine. I
Like
don't
trees
know.
or like boats or
Fire ants.
yeah, I don't like affiliated with fire ants.
Yeah, fire ants suck.
Did we?
You like bones?
Bones are cool.
All right, Shrill, you're cool, man. I'll walk off.
Goes back to eating mushrooms.
Did we meet this guy before?
Nope.
No, not.
So
As far as I can tell, this is some goblin magic bullshit.
So legitimately, this is a thing that Jeremy just likes to play with
Well, please
goblins.
tell me this is the new Evet.
Well, no, not the new Evan.
I'll
But
drop him down the hole right now. I'll drown him.
in the way that I play goblins or greenskins, right? I kind of take the tack
I got
of you know, like Warhammer-ish type scenarios. They just kind of spawn out of, you know,
Through the
needing
sheer
more
will of them.
goblins.
What is the goblin god? Magubliet?
Magoobliet,
Maglubiet, I think, is what it is.
Lubiet, yeah.
Magubliet.
Anyway, so I go back to Pibble and Groin. Hey, why do we need an even number of goblins?
I don't know. Even's just more fun. Now we can, well, I mean, so we've got Blarg, right, and Baralk. So
Yep.
we've got 2 bugbears. That's even. And
yeah.
and then we've got the 3 goats. No, 4 goats. Shit.
Four goats.
We need another bugbear. Not bugbear. Owlbear. Too many bears. Ah.
Yeah, we do need another owlbear.
So they're just randomly talking. They have no in conversing with them. It does not seem like they have a realistic reason. They just thought they needed an even number.
All right, cool. Well, makes sense to me. That's all I have.
Okay, sounds good. Is there anything else you wanted to do for your day?
Yeah, I'd like to just like talk to people and be like, hey, you got any goals?
Okay.
Like, what are you trying to accomplish?
So you try to spend
And I
some
would like
time
to specifically
individually.
talk to Pibble and Groin because I haven't like spent a lot of time with them.
Sure, yeah.
And then like I don't know, 3 other random people.
Okay. So we can
not the goats.
Yeah. Not the goats. Oh, but Zach, they have hopes and dreams.
Yeah, but they don't have goals. Their goals is to continue living.
The Marchesa is very goal oriented. Thank you very much.
What's the Marchessa's
The
intelligence?
Marchesa.
I think it's 3.
Okay. So just enough to like breathe on its own.
Look, fuck off. The same amount of intelligence that
Wow.
most of the beast class
Your
creatures
whole
have.
point of
Get
an
out of
auto
here.
respiratory system is that it's auto.
Not at
okay.
1 intelligence, it ain't.
So,
Just gotta think about it.
So we can like spitball stuff later on about like who you spend time with individually, but as far as the
I mean, do they have any like group goals going on? Like,
yeah,
are they,
so
like...
so actually, yeah, that's what I was about to get to.
Okay.
So when you're talking to Pibble and Groin, they kind of talk to you about, you know, getting the 6th level set up for the Skull Takers in such a way to where they feel safe and they can provide for themselves, etc., etc. So one of the activities that they're currently undertaking is they're trying to take your advice, right, and be better about the scouting and patrols and watching their borders and making sure that nasty stuff doesn't just get into the lost level and, you know, make a home there. But another thing that they're doing is the location where you met Mossy, right? That is an old ore sorting facility, basically. They're ripping up the whole space and they're carting in soil from the willow wood to create a fungal farm, basically. And it's gonna, they're well into it, but it's still gonna take them, they believe it'll take them several days, right, to actually get things up and running, to where they can start planting. I say planting, but start spawning funguses in there, etc., etc. That's one of the tasks that they've kind of like set for themselves. And then the other thing is just kind of like trying to, they want to stay safe and they want to stay consolidated, but it's starting to get a little cramped just in the nave. So they're trying to figure out how to, set up quarters in the actual lost levels themselves, but how to do it without spreading everyone out too much and causing potential issues. So that's the other thing is
imagine all this, and then a separate adventuring party comes and wipes out the entire floor.
Right?
Yeah, good luck with
So
that.
so they're trying to
All of the
avoid that, right?
goblins.
They're trying to avoid that type of thing. They're trying to Pibble and Groin are, they're goblins, but they're also trying to be goblin leaders. So they are trying to, take this seriously, especially after you have impressed upon them the serious nature of the whole ordeal. And they're trying to figure out how to do this, how to make the 6th level a real home for the Skull Taker.
Okay,
So right now, to quantify that a little bit more mechanically, right? Nutrition via the fungal farm, and then kind of like logistics via a layout, right? Like how to safely spread out, but not too far, that type of thing.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, cool. I'm good for the day then.
Okay, sounds good. All right. Then we will shift on up to Ashes. Ashes, what are you doing for your day?
First thing I do after finishing my hearty breakfast, I pick my ass up walking down the street.
I apologize. Before anything else happens, sorry. I need Ashes, Ezrah, and Matashtai to roll me wisdom saving throws.
Wisdom saving throw.
This will go well.
Use my reaction to gain advantage. Actually, I didn't even see what it was. 8. Yeah, I definitely do
4. Why?
that. A little bit better.
Yep, you're all fine.
It's
Um,
a little bit better.
So Ashes, back to what you were doing. Sorry.
Oh, no, never mind.
I go down the street and visit Paula.
Okay. They are up and about doing stuff. Let you in. Say, oh, you're here for your stuff. And then deliver you, I believe it's 10 potions?
It's only been 4 days late. Yeah, it is 10 greater pots.
Yep, so 10 greater potions delivered unto your waiting hands.
Okay. And then I return to theirs. Was it 20 platinum?
Are you
No, wait. Yeah,
Go
it's
ahead.
20 platinum for 200. No, it's 200 gold. That's 200. That's 200 platinum.
You're 2,000 gold. You're giving them 2,000 gold. Are you sure before you make any decisions? Have you looked at
I've
the
looked
magic
at the
shop
magic
and stuff
shop
like that?
list,
Okay.
And
All
yeah,
right,
there's
you do you.
There's nothing in there other than like
Before you investigate any other things, you could always like come back this afternoon and commission things, and it's not going to change the time
the
on.
moon stuff is at night.
It's not going to change the time on delivery or anything like that.
I mean, these potions are important.
Okay, you do you,
Yeah,
fam.
it sounds like he's telling you something's literally gonna blow up and you're gonna need some money.
You,
I'm getting sick and tired of money management. I give her 200 platinum. Or then,
Fine. All right.
It's looking
I want
fun.
10 more.
Paula's like, all right, well,
More potions.
I'll see
More!
you in how many days is it?
A week.
7 day. Or up 10 day. So the 23rd.
Ah, the day we should see that boat for sale.
Yeah, right.
If we're lucky.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and potions, greater healing.
All right.
I have 5.
Roll me a 1d6, by the way, Ashes.
Save.
Okay. While you are having this exchange with Bala, you hear some conversation upstairs, right? And it's from a very gruff, gravelly voice, right? And it says, what the part that you kind of catch, your ears perk up, right? You hear, I've told you before, Roar. I don't find that funny.
Is
Paula, you
following a
got company?
polyamorous relationship?
Bala just looks at you kind of like deadpan and says, "You've met him before."
Oh, right, the big guy.
Oh, damn, you said roar. Crocodile roars there.
Good old crocodile roar.
Like crocodile roar. Wow, that. Look that. I know that guy. I did some work with him last time I was up.
Bala kind of like looks at you like, "What? What are you talking about?" Like,
Kinku.
"Oh, the king I was talking about." Never mind. Tall, dark, and scary. You met him before.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
But yes, he has a new friend, little buddy. This crocodile roar you speak of.
Yeah, he seems to be good people.
What a little badass dude.
Yeah.
Crocodile roar's awesome.
I don't know. He's kind of annoying
beast.
sometimes.
Damn, give the man a chance.
It just takes a little while to get used to the way he talks. It's
He always takes so many things.
Well, if I have to listen to another set of screeches through a polite conversation, I'm not sure I'll be giving him that opportunity.
yeah.
Patience.
Well, I mean, if you see him, tell him what's up.
Sure.
Cool. Do you have like I can just go into the city if need be, but do you have just like some regular potions I can pick up from you as well? Because we go through those like candy.
Roll me a d10.
All right, I want to like a whole D10 on this. D10. Wow, that's not very many. Now is it?
Not much of a stock. Most of the brewing that they've been doing is with your greater healing potions, and it's also winter, so people, are buying up healing tonics and things like that. So
I need to go
only
to town
two
anyway,
on
so
hand.
I'm not gonna. I'll let some other people be able to pick some stuff. I'm gonna start hurting their business before too long because there's no point in coming by.
Why?
I mean, if you're the only
If you're the one
customer who
buying
buys
all the
of
things,
their
that's
stock,
guaranteed
No,
business.
I'll out here making bank. Like
Fala making a shit ton of money off of you. Yeah, absolutely.
at the end of year for fall is gonna look real good.
So, your exchange with Fala completed. Some graders set and paid for. What's up next?
I would like to I don't know if we've determined where the best like place for just. I'm assuming the market. So I'll grab a coach.
What are you aiming to do? What's your goal?
I want healing potions. I want basic crafting materials to make my own. And I also, while I'm out, want to try to locate the smithing guild. Or a member from the smithing guild. Or someone who could direct me in the right direction.
Well, I mean, you
somebody.
have
you got
individuals
Imbric
in your neck of the woods that are
I guess crafting guild is I don't know if crafting and smith like they're the same house, but
sure. Well, Imbric and Avi are armor and weapon smiths.
forgot about those two dudes. Yeah. All right. So before I catch the coach and go to the market to pick up some stuff, I'm gonna just go from Follow's place, round the corner, and let me see. I guess it doesn't matter which one of them I talk to.
Talk to them both.
But yeah. I'll just.
Actually,
Come
like
in.
you do talk to them both. You come in and the place is just like super smoldering. It's sweaty in here, and they're not really doing much. Business is kind of slow at this particular moment. So they're just, oh hey, been a while.
Hey,
And
I
they check
know,
you out.
right? Been under the mountain. But yeah, we're up here for a few days, and we're trying to get some things taken care of.
All
And
right.
I was wondering if you could help me with something.
What do you need?
All right, I'm not looking for armor or a weapon. I'm looking for adamantium.
They both whistle sharply at the same time, just like
I'm not saying that like I need a pure refined ingot. I can get away with some just unrefined chunks, I think. I'm not entirely sure.
all right.
I don't need a whole lot either. But I'm seeing if I can find somebody.
Sure. We don't deal much with adamantine. It's pretty rare, very expensive. But we have a couple of connections just in case. You want to look up... Torbit and Tolls. They're a front for a mining operation out of the Sword Mountains. You can find them, and they give you locations, right, in the trade ward where you can find the storefront for Torbit and Tolls.
Right. Well,
And they're like, good luck. That's expensive stuff you're looking into there.
I figured, but I thought I'd get on this now because it might take a while.
All right. Okay. So,
All right, appreciate the help, guys.
and
Y'all
then a
easy.
carriage, and then investigating. So the way that like basic goods, crafting goods, and things like that, you're in the City of Splendors. You can find what you need, however much you want to spend to purchase whatever you need to purchase. You get right, but that's just for basic crafting supplies. So whatever you need to spend, do it. Same thing for healing potions, basically, right? If you want to buy 50 healing potions, you can go around the city and find them. It's just up to you, right? So how many healing potions are you buying? What you buying?
I'm just gonna grab
What
10
you
for
spending?
now.
Okay, so it's another
drop-
500 gold
Yep.
for the healing potions.
And that's 50.
And then you buy some crafting components as well. And then what else? Are you on to try to find this Torbits and Tolls?
Yeah, correct. That is what I want to do.
Okay, so
Maybe 2 platinum left over.
so you eventually make your way down, getting close to like lunchtime or something like that. Make your way down to the trade ward, following the directions from Imbric and Avi, and there is a little storefront, Torbits and Tolls over it, and it is just barely the doorway is just barely big enough to where you don't have to stoop to get in.
All right. I'll step on in.
And it's cramped for a individual of your stature. And smoky, really fucking smoky. Smells kind of sulfurous. It kind of like hurts to breathe a little bit in here. But you find a dwarf, one Torbit, waiting at the counter, who gruffly asks you what you buying or what you selling.
What you
Well,
buying?
what you buying? Hey, Shiz, nice to
He's
meet
got
you.
this big ass kind of like bowl pipe, and between everything that he says to you, he's just
Taking a drag. All right.
and you can see that's part of the reason why this place is just filled with smoke.
Okay. So I'll cut to the chase. I'm looking for something a little uncommon. I was told that you might be able to help me find it. I'm looking for some unrefined adamantium.
Adamantium. Give me that vibranium. Let's go.
Adamantium or adamantine? I can't.
It's adamantine.
It's adamantine. Yeah. Sorry, my.
Want Wolverine's bones?
You're
Give me
fine.
Give me his bones!
Many people have wanted it.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's been referred to as adamantium in multiple D&D
adamantine.
scenarios, so it's perfectly fine. It doesn't matter. So this dwarf, Torbit, kind of looks at you and is like, the tough one, especially unrefined.
Honestly, whatever is the easiest way to get any amount. I don't. If it's
Well, he'll explain it to you. They
refined.
basically they have an operation, a mining operation in the Sword Mountains north of Waterdeep, right? So most of what gets sent to the city is already it's refined for market, right?
Okay.
Even the mages that they supply for enchanting materials or alchemy or things like that, they still want refined ores rather than raw ores, right?
Makes sense.
But the good news is Torbit can hook you up. The bad news is it's 1,000 gold for a brick of adamantine.
Okay. That's what that was what eventually it was getting to. Okay.
And right now you have no idea how much of that brick you need
Yeah.
to do
the
what
thing
you're
I
talking
want
about.
to
Yeah.
do.
Or even, and we talked about this already, if you're capable of doing what you want to.
Well, I mean,
Are you gonna cut it? Your ass in Magneto?
is your whole body made of this stuff? Right. Tell you what. If you can try to source it, I'll see if I can't buy it.
He grumbles at you and he points behind him, and there's a big vault door, and he says,
Yeah.
"Sourced."
Shit. Damn, it's almost like you shouldn't have dropped 2K. I'm just like fucking
Yeah.
nothing after being warned a couple times.
Honestly,
Yeah, Jeremy was like, "Are you sure you want to do?"
I knew your
it's still
intentions.
fine because I know that I can't do the thing yet.
Yeah, but now you know where
But-
you need to go
Yeah.
if you need to get it, or when you need to get
Right.
it.
Because-
Torbit lets you know, right? Like any large quantities, you'll have to make like an order, give them a couple days probably, right? But just buying a bar here or there, they normally have it on hand.
Okay. Cool. Well, then I will most definitely be back. There are a few things I need to gather first. Information being one of them.
Grunts.
And I look forward to doing business with you in the future.
Grunts holds out the pipe to you.
Are you supposed to inhale?
Smoke that weed.
Yeah.
Smoke that sweet, sweet weed.
You.
So, what are you doing?
It's actually surprisingly mild, right? Not really harsh in any way, shape, form, or fashion. It's more harsh to breathe in the environment after you exhale it than it is to breathe in, and it's kind of sweet. And he kind of like looks at you and he smiles and he says, "Not what you expected, eh?"
Well, it was not.
And he just kind of nods, and then he's done with the conversation. So,
And
from
I'll head on
there,
out.
you head to.
Also, by the way, how much was... I should have had this written down, or I should have it in the alchemy rules, but how much is... uncommon, is it just 100 GP?
Yeah, it's just 100 GP for a uncommon set of ingredients. Now,
Okay.
if you're doing specialized things, that's where you need special components to go in, right? That type of thing. But
Damn millennial doors got everything tasting like cotton candy and tangerines.
right?
This dude, like, Vape Nation.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, he turns around, stitched on the back, Vape Nation.
I love it.
Big cloud of smoke.
Absolutely.
Orbit and Pulse.
Okay, so where to next?
After that, like, I'm pretty much freed up for the after. That's all the things I wanted to take care of this morning.
Okay, sounds good. Then the next thing that you end up doing is your evening stuff. You're spending your evenings at the Temple of the Moon, right?
I'm
your
spending my
plan.
evenings at the Temple.
So
of
you're
the
not
Moon.
going to be around for the potential, like, denouement of each day at the Lifted Spirits. You're planning to spend your moonlight under the Temple of the Moon.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
I
So
kinda am.
you'll have notified your friend, your allies about that, etc., etc. So they won't wait up for you on
The
evenings.
expectation is you're there for breakfast, though, right?
Yeah, the expectation is that he's there for breakfast. Is my assumption, right?
You're correct.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. He basically just like naps in the afternoon and then spends the evening. He splits his sleep, right? Sleep schedule.
Yeah.
So
I get my 8 in.
yeah, let's go ahead and just
Very
fast
healthy.
forward to that then. You head to the Temple of the Moon on the evening. You are greeted, given entry into the temple's halls, and as you go in, right, Zalara kind of pipes up, and she hasn't been quiet per se, but she's been less chatty this past day. And as you're coming in, she kind of like all of a sudden she says, "Hey, Ashes, you kind of view yourself as a protector, right? Like you guard your friends, your allies."
Yeah. More than that, that's kind of the creed of our order is just kind of, well, that's kind of like from the things that go bump in the night. But
If you don't mind
yeah,
me
yeah.
asking, then, like, what's with the claws? I mean, wouldn't it make more sense to sword and board?
From a so with the claws, and especially since I've gained a lot more combat knowledge over the time that we've been under the mountain, I've found out how much damage I can inflict just with these guys, along with some other help from the rights and extra attacks. And yeah, sword and board's great, especially with the increased defense, but just seems like I can put things in the ground faster with the
Best
thingies.
defense is a good offense.
Yeah.
I understand that. That makes sense.
I just hope that doesn't offend you, considering your.
It doesn't offend me, no. It's just something that I've been curious about. You know, I spend so long not being wielded, not being utilized. I'm pretty happy just having some people to talk to right now.
And I'm glad. I don't want you to feel like you're not of use.
Oh, I don't get that impression. I'm invaluable to you.
Okay, yeah, good. Yeah,
I'm
right.
fucking great. Appreciate it.
Like,
The vision of modesty.
right? That is not Zalara. Okay, so but this little conversation happens, right? And then you're at the Temple of the Moon. What do?
Well,
do?
I suppose I start going in and looking for, I guess, like Taverin if he's around, or I don't think I should be bothering a Mestri every single time I come by, because I'm sure she has her own things that she's doing, but
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
or if not, I'll just grab like a nearby person and ask them. You know, I'm sure I've been around enough that they're familiar with me enough to know that I come by to do some work.
You just as you enter in, right? There's this little period where you kind of like look around and see if anyone's like, yo, right? When there's not initially, you default to, providing services. So you start, just doing what you can. And pretty shortly thereafter, you are found by Taverin. Almost as if, like, someone informed him that you had arrived, and he comes wandering into the room that you happen to be in, right? It's another scenario where you're kind of like just helping some of the acolytes do menial tasks. But then Taverin kind of like shows up, looks at you, and he says, "Ah, good. Helpful as always. Follow me."
Found myself up top again, so I thought I'd make myself useful.
Just waves you to follow as he starts walking.
All right.
And
Haven't missed anything, have I?
several beautiful moons.
Yeah, don't really get a whole lot of that under the mountain.
That is a travesty.
Well, I mean, there is this forest under there that looks like it has a sky despite the fact it's underground.
I've heard a great many tales of the wood and its splendor, but I cannot imagine that it matches Selune's actual grace.
Of course not.
So he takes you into a section, kind of like set away from the regular halls of the Temple of the Moon. And you can see it's a bunch of like kind of, it's a hallway, but it's a bunch of like slotted niches, right? And there are a bunch of individuals here of all different shapes and sizes and different armaments and things like that, but every single one of them is kind of like kneeling in vigil, excepting that at the end of the hall, it's a hall maybe about 40 feet long or so, maybe not that long, probably about 30 feet long. There's a doorway, and you see as you arrive, right? You see this door open, and this individual stumbles out of the doorway, just bloodied and beaten. Stumbles out of the doorway, doesn't say anything to anybody, just stumbles down the hall past all of you, and then everyone everyone who is sitting vigil right now stands up, and they all move down one niche, right? And then sit back down, and the one that is closest to the door now walks in the door and closes the door behind them.
And what was the turning? They turning people?
Turning fool.
What? So, hey,
Yeah,
Taveran, I'm not sure I'm familiar with this procedure. What's going on here?
Well,
Fight up.
there are a lot of different things that we do here. A lot of different things that we are responsible, that the temple's acolytes and priests and clerics are responsible for. And then there's what we wardens are responsible for.
We're building an army.
And one of the things that we absolutely cannot do under any circumstances is break. This helps us get better at that.
A ceremony of breaking.
It's a fight club.
So,
it's-
something.
It's not a fight club.
No, it's a torture club.
It's a get your ass beat club.
Like the flash of realization is like, oh god.
Get in line.
Right.
He raises his eyebrows at you and then looks at the now empty vigil spot.
We've received Ezra's reports. Get in line.
Karma comes in all shapes and sizes.
You see Ezra poke out from one of the
And
statues.
I'll lean back to Zillar and be like, "You enjoy watching me get my ass kicked?"
She kind of says, I mean, it has its perks. Ashes, this is not unfamiliar to you. The Order of Sharp Teeth had some grueling exercises that they put young recruits through. In order
I'm very
to-
familiar with the chairs with leather straps throughout.
No bottoms?
in that way.
Chairs.
It's definitely in that way.
So,
The chairs with leather straps and no bottoms, dude.
so this is not something that you are unfamiliar with, but there is a ritualistic nature to it, and you can see, right, like, and more specifically, I think for you, because of what you are, you can smell now that you're present and you're thinking about it and you understand what's happening. You can smell this air of anxiety and anticipation coming from the people that are having to wait. And now you start hearing the yelps and the shrieks coming from this room beyond.
Damn, you guys go kind of hard.
Taveran looks at you and he says, "We protect that which the moon covets most, and that which serves Our Lady. We have to be."
You're right. You're right. And I will walk past him, maybe plop a hand on his shoulder, and go queue up.
It is a long, anxiety-riddled process. Whether it's Ash's anxiety or not, right? Like, there's a nervous
Sure,
energy
absolutely.
about Zalara. There's the anxiety that you can smell on the other individuals. And eventually, you find yourself in a room
A
That
chair with leather
is
straps.
not in a chair with leather straps. You aren't restrained, but you are asked, like everything that happens, right? You are asked to disrobe down to your small clothes, right? So you don't have a bunch of armor and stuff like that protecting you, and very specifically, you don't have a weapon on hand. And
Always have a weapon on hand.
And you are asked to shift.
Oh,
We have your consent.
they're gonna rip your claws out.
And then afterwards they tell you, all right, we're going to begin. Your goal is control.
Oh,
And then they beat the shit out of you. And invariably, you break. The moment before you are beaten into unconsciousness, you do break. And immediately afterwards, right, like as that nature just like boils over, there's a blow to the back of the head and you're knocked unconscious. And you awaken with the two individuals that had been beating you over you, right? Giving you some water, toweling you off, etc. And they ask if you're okay. And they help you to your feet.
Did you notice the guy that ran me over? Oh god. Must have been a huge ass carriage.
Yeah, that was me.
Oh,
It's me, Timothy.
Christ.
And they pick you up and they help you over to your gear, right? And help you get back into your gear because it's a painful process. And then they take you to the door and they clap you on the back. And as you're leaving, one of them says, "See you tomorrow."
Yeah.
you showed up for the breaking week.
When you exit, there is an acolyte standing there, and that acolyte leads you to a chamber filled with the individuals that you had seen in that hallway prior, and every single one of them is being tended, being fed, being healed. They are not barbaric. There is a method and a reason to them attempting to break you in that moment. But as soon as that is done, it's back to the warmth and care that you have come to kind of expect from the administrations of the Temple of the Moon. And all of this is provided to you, and then you're set loose to go back home. And it's a strange feeling because there are the kind of like, there's the remembrance of the pain and anxiety that you went through, right?
Yeah.
But physically you're healed. And whatever you feel emotionally is up to you.
As you know, I'm catching a coach back. We get the money. To
Nickel and diming us.
yeah, no, that's fine. So how'd I do, Zalora? I kind of blacked out at some point.
Holy shit. You weren't kidding. They go hard.
Oh, and apparently there's a tomorrow. Ow.
I mean, do you want this?
Back in my day, they just slapped you around a little bit.
Like, does this matter? Or do you want to be a part of their ranks? We don't have to do this.
No, we don't have to do this, but I think what Taverin said carries a lot of weight. I mean, the guys that I'm with, us getting down to the bottom of the dungeon, if there's something that can make me do what I do better, or just make it so at least I'm not turning on my own allies, or even if it doesn't even give me like some kind of actual benefit other than just puts me in a better mental state. I mean, it's worth it. Sucks. It hurts. But it's not about me.
Okay.
It's about us.
Okay.
This is us.
Ezra, what are you doing for the day?
How do I follow that?
I don't know.
Me looking at books.
I mean,
Go
that's
get your ass
okay.
beat.
Looking at books is
Run
a
a
good
fight
thing.
club, Ezra.
Hey,
Yeah.
Go,
I'm
Library
in the
Fight Club.
mood.
Hold that thought real quick. I'm gonna run and
Yeah.
grab water real fast. Yeah. And besides, Ezra, you just had massive, like, last session, you just had massive lightning power controller Stormlord, situations. They
I
had
turned that off before we got to topside.
they
by the
had
way.
to follow that. Okay, cool.
I turned that off before we got topside.
What's Ezra doing today? What's happening?
So the big things that I wanted to do are to have Cine at some point in time, in addition to the asking around for warding, to have conversations about what the effort to have a permanent magic circle or a teleportation circle implemented in the manor. Just at some point.
You want Cine to start asking around for that?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
This is
Because
not an
Cine
urgent
will look at you
thing.
and he'll be like, I have no idea. I'll just have to ask with the Order of Mages and Protectors, I suppose.
Yeah, if you just want to start the conversation, you're kind of I don't know if you realize this, but with everything we're doing down below, you're kind of the face.
I'm your seneschal. This is what
Yes.
you pay me for.
Yes. So again, not urgent. We understand this is I understand this is a long process. I know what this is in theory. But let's start having those conversations about the legalities and the costs and so on and so forth, and we'll look at our finances and go from there.
I will reach out.
Much appreciated. Then my intent is to start by selling off all of our mundane shit.
Sold.
Or quote unquote not magical shit. The
Done
5
and done.
perfume bottles from Xanathar. You never gave me a value for those.
They should be 20 gold apiece.
Okay, so 100 gold there. 200 gold from the random knickknacks we got from whatchamacallit, so that puts us at 300. I will math it out. 75 gold apiece.
Damn, I got 30 plat.
Per year.
So that's all done. The
How
only
much was
things
that
we
for
have
everyone?
left,
75 gold.
75 gold.
75 gold? Okay.
All we have left to sell, my understanding is Matt potentially was going to be taking the other 2 hot ticket items.
To the collection lady,
That's-
Shalara.
Not everyone has spoken on their vote in the Discord chat.
Yeah, so you guys were definitely gonna do the chess set, but you guys are still making the decision. And like I said, we can retcon what we need to for the ship if we need to there. But the theory is that's
spoke in the chat, and we both thought in bottle was a more interesting sale. Mitchell and Zach have not responded.
I don't care.
I literally have no care either way.
all right.
As long as your
so
boy gets some
Easiest
cash.
to sell it.
in bottle it goes.
In bottle it goes.
So that'll be a go with the chess set and see if the collector can get it sold.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Outside
whatever.
of that, the only other 2 things on my docket is spending my research day for Calabash and to begin a mini quest of my own to understand stone giants and methods to parlay with them.
Okay. Which do you want to start with? You want to get Calabash out of the way?
Calabash is going to... I assume Calabash is going to be something I can just do in Troll Skull.
Yeah, whenever.
So it might
Doesn't
make
matter.
more sense since I'm out and about to just...
Also fine. All right, so where are you heading for stone giant stuff? What's your trail? What's the plan?
I am an agent of habit.
Back
So
to the
my
font of
first-
knowledge.
My first
Okay.
stop, just to
Sure.
get an understanding and maybe get some guidance.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we'll play this as we have in the past with research scenarios. So roll me a history check, which is what I use as use library. So history it up for me.
Historying it up. I'm on fire. Ugh.
Do you have advantage?
No, but I can use a sorcery point to reroll.
You can, if you so choose.
I choose.
You
And I
choose.
roll.
Poor rolls. Poor rolls.
This is a great night.
Sometimes it do
I-
be that way.
I think I have to take the.
The new roll.
And you must take the
Sorcery
new roll.
points. Pick the one you like.
Shit. All right, whatever. So you begin to go through the motions, creature of habit, start researching about stone giants, and you find just a metric crap ton of lore about stone giants and this thing called the Ordning, and the world of giants in general, and cloud giants and fire giants and frost giants, and the birth of the giant race, and one of the gods, Anam Allfather, who turned his back on his giant children. You find out so much lore, and you're kind of like, you're sucked into it because you're Ezrah, so you're like, oh, nom 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 nom, nom 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 nom, and then you go like 8 hours and you're like, shit, none of this is the stuff that I need. Fuck. Right?
Do I get to the war with dragons?
Oh yeah, there's so many wars with dragons. There's like a war with dragons in every other book.
That was a Jake moment, not another moment.
But you do find, you find a fair amount of interesting information. It's all just speculative information or information on Giantkin as a whole, or lore and mythos. It's not like, oh, giants value, or stone giants specifically value this thing. If you bring it to them, they'll love you, right? You don't find anything useful like that. Not to say that it's not useful, period, because it is knowledge, right? But not that kind of nugget that you were maybe looking for. That said, it is a foundation, right? We're counting it as the fail forward. So you failed, but it's going to reduce the DC should you continue to look into it next time.
Should I not roll a 2 next time?
Should you not roll a 2 next time, right? Okay, so next up.
Calabash.
Calabash. All right, so you're researching the tome given to you by Rainair. How are you going about researching it?
Arcana.
Okay. Roll me an Arcana check.
I'm gonna use a sorcery point.
Okay.
Can I roll above a 5?
I need you to roll something.
No, I can't. Okay.
My man! The D&D gods have spoken. Thus it is, thus it shall be. You make progress. Kinda, semi-sorta. You come to... You're beginning to realize that the way that magic is instilled within this tome is this kind of multi-layered effect that it is so incredibly difficult to discern because it's not static. It is a set of layers that are rolling back in on themselves. So it is really fucking hard to pin down. But you're coming to understand that there's a great amount of magical energy somehow invested in this tome. And if you can only have that glimmer of inspiration from the Arcana side of things, you'll be able to crack it and gain a... You're not sure what yet, but something is there.
Cool.
Okay. Note.
And I make sure Sine knows I'm available whenever Rainier... Get a room!
They're in a room.
Oh, I love you too, Rachel.
So as you
belong
kind of
to
like
me.
finish up research,
the room
Sine
belongs
does
to you?
end up sending Rainier up to meet you. So it's early evening, late afternoon, that type of scenario. And Rainier arrives, and he asks after Matashtai, Ashes, and Bones. How everyone's doing.
Seltzor, 'cause I don't think he's met Seltzor yet.
It's sure, yeah, Seltzor. And he seems charmed, right, by the by the pseudo dragon. Because Rainier is he's noble, so he's used to being around these types of interesting situations, right, per se. So he's not shocked or surprised or anything like that. He's just like, oh, how delightful, right? And feeds Seltzor a little bit of some I don't know, it's like a pate or something that he has in a little can in his pocket,
How do you have that, Rainier?
It's delicious. You want some?
No.
So, Rainier just is here primarily to discuss what he sent you out for, right? Your adventure into Mad Goth's castle and or the Mad Goth's castle, because he wasn't 100% sure at that point when he sent you out. So he kind of he requests a debriefing from you.
And I would have...
He's the one that sent us there.
I had no memory of that. Yeah.
Yep, I would have used the illusory script when I was writing the letter.
Sure. Yeah.
And in there, I would have made brief, subtle notes about the Xanathar incursion. So Mert would have at least had that insight.
Yeah.
And with Rainier here, I roll it back because I think this is pertinent to Waterdeep and the Harpers. I explain our alliance with the Legion and the relationship with the Harper contact in Skullport.
Gotcha.
The events that happened and the tenuous relationship with the Legion and at least the Harper agent that is in place.
Yeah.
To avoid issues on that front as much as possible.
So Rainier gives you this, it's very good to hear it from the horse's mouth, so to speak. Fortunately, we are well informed.
I assumed, but I just want to make sure. Just
Of
want to
course.
make sure.
Absolutely. So more to what we
Yes,
were.
yes, that was on our way down. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that was covered. Wow, it was weird. It was tiny. It was small. The key, it formed a bubble, and we went up hundreds of feet to this stalagmite, to the tip of this stalagmite, and on the tip of it there was just this tiny little beautiful castle. And as soon as we reached out, we shrunk too.
Huh. And may explain why our diviners had such a difficult time pinning down exactly where it is. If it's incredibly small, especially compared to the area around it, then that might make it more difficult to pinpoint.
So we entered, and encountered a homunculus, but not as you know them. It seemed unaffected by the miniaturization effect and was massive. It was giant. I was looking up at a homunculus. Never thought I'd do that.
Strange.
Fairy dragon?
I wonder if that was intentional by the creator or an accident.
No, the homunculus was the thing that you aborted several times, or that Ashes aborted several times.
Yeah, but it wasn't like giant, right?
I mean, it was
It was
large.
a large creature.
Oh.
Yes, it was massive. So we encountered that. It was a complicated, tenuous relationship, but ended well. We got attacked by Drow. There was one of the portals in the mansion, and Drow came pouring out of it, out of nowhere. That was chaos. That was bad. Apparently, we have made enemies with House Avrindar.
Okay.
And they are hunting us at every opportunity, I guess.
Not good news.
Yeah,
It's fine.
well,
I'm gonna take
I'm
care
not
of that.
super
Don't worry
familiar of this house, but being hunted by any drow house does not bode well.
yeah, we killed one of the sisters. Technically two, one not by our own hand. We let one live, though.
Well, maybe.
Technically 3.
We let it live.
Like they attacked us. We have attempted to be
Sure,
diplomatic where we can.
Yeah.
They just have a different culture.
Hey,
And
I'm not criticizing. It's I've experiences. Anyways, continuing.
we have
I
made
mean,
as many
it's-
allies as we have enemies.
You
I
have
think.
all of these. This is such an odd tale. What of the wizard?
I'm sorry. There's just so much in the castle. It was crazy. There was a dragon. There was a fairy dragon. It had the same thing where it didn't seem like it was being affected by the spell of the place. So it was massive.
That's I don't know if that's very interesting or if that's terrifying.
Yes.
Every fairy dragon I've ever met is such a capricious little shit that imagining them being enlarged is yeah, that's definitely not great.
Yeah, it flew up on me and mauled me, and it was worse than what Ashes did to me. It was awful.
Worse than what Ashes did to me.
Over on the way back to Trollsoul Mountain. Achoo!
As Ashes is getting beat within an inch of his life.
I didn't even mention that. So when we got to the 7th floor, there was a bunch of stone giants down there, and they were affected by this fairy dragon, and they asked us to deal with it. We promised we would deal with it and remove the whatever the blight was, which turned out to be this fairy dragon that was messing with them. And we did. It was a tough fight. The thing was massive. But we removed the creature. We unfortunately had to kill it, but we did. Once we did that, we finally were able to finish exploring the castle uninhibited, and we found an archive. A walls of filings with information on, as far as I can tell, every individual showing magical prowess in the known area. I don't know what the expanse is, but the numbers in my head add up to tens, if not hundreds of thousands of files.
Rainer's giving you the like what face, the multiple blink like look at
They have a
And then he kind
registry?
of like thinks about it, and he says, "Undermountain has a history, a bad reputation, I suppose. As it's a place where mages disappear. I mean, we know why some of that is. Halaster and his ilk are bad news, generally speaking, but."
I pull out a note, and it's the note that I used to inscribe my record.
Okay, gotcha.
And I push that forward to him, and this is what's in there for me.
He
I
kinda
have no idea
skims
what it means. Dragonfly is some code name, of course, but I can only postulate as to who or what that might be.
Sure. Yeah, this is gibberish to me. Was there nothing else?
After I took time, because there was other information in there that was personal, we found this, and I pull out the note from Madgoth.
Huh. So he reads through it and he says, "Well, it seems like our diviners were not as undetected as they thought they were."
And then I pull out the Hasnarketo once he's done, so I can show off the
Well,
addition.
even though we apparently spooked him, seems as if the main prize was still attained. It's good to know. So now I am very concerned about this individual and his filings of information. We'll look into it.
Just one more thing. I kind of step away from anything that might be flammable. And I release the guards on the new lightning form.
Ezra flares up. Gotcha. So Raynor kind of like just
down.
looks at you for a second and kind of like, looks thoughtful and is, huh. Are you in pain at all?
I turn it off. And I sit back down and I look at him. No. But it's something that I actively have to turn off now that the device is further in completion.
Might be a matter of control, too much power. I mean, obviously, if you're able to turn it off and on at a whim, that does bode well, but the power itself might be too much to just dissipate on its own.
Oh,
Wow.
that does remind me. So you see the gem on here? The
Yeah, you show him, and there's lightning just crackling around it.
So while I was identifying it and attuning to it, I discovered that there were several, or at least a pair of storm elementals that were bound. And there was a surge of electrical power as the joining was happening. But I think I contained one of them
Well,
in there.
that's potentially useful and potentially very dangerous.
Yeah.
Right. Don't unleash that in the city.
Yeah.
In the city,
I mean, he kind of gives you the shrug because he is kind of. I mean, he's noble, right? And he does a lot of
was an
things in the city,
adventurer.
but he is kind of an adventurer. So he's kind of like, oh well, fuck.
Yep.
Glad that's not my problem.
Yep.
Don't fuck up.
Yep. Thanks.
So
But we the note was left with that, and I assume it was Halaster, but he had an arcane image appear and continued to beckon me forth.
Well, what are you gonna do?
We all have our reasons for going down there.
Forth you go, then. All right.
That was very evasive.
Well,
By the grace of God.
this all turned out rather strangely, but again, at least with the information that we obtained from Calabash's ramblings, some good was able to be done. A new piece of the puzzle, a step further in hopefully the right direction. I am concerned about this castle and these files. We'll put a team on investigating further, see if we can find something out about that. But it seems like you have more of a date with Destiny, sir. Speaking of dates, what are you and your allies doing tomorrow? Your morning's relatively free? Say 10-ish?
Well, Bones didn't come up with us.
Ah, unfortunate.
He's found himself a suitable forge and is
Now a goblin warlord. Just tell him that.
no, I'm not telling him that.
I like that though. Oh fuck.
And is making use of resources
Oh, well, good to
down
know.
there.
Unfortunate that he won't be able to participate, but no real issue.
I cannot speak for Ashes or Matashtai, but I can extend a invitation at what's going on.
Laerol expects you all at Pirgaron's palace. 10. Prompt.
Irgravant's palace.
Cryptola
Why?
Oh, she says she fucked Ashes once.
He kind of like, he looks at you.
I mean, I understand. I can't ask
sorry.
her why. That's
That's
why
the
I'm
other
he
asking
he looks at you and he says, he
Deep
gives
cut,
you a
Zach.
smile and he says,
I forgot the other guy's name.
"Hey, shut up! I'm talking." He looks at you and he smiles and he says, "You're all making quite a splash.
We haven't touched water in a while.
Splashes have to be addressed so that people in power and people in positions of near power and the commonality know and understand that those splashes are directed and
Expected.
understood. It's won't be
Formality?
anything painful, I'm sure."
I disagree, but
He says, "With that, I have other business to attend to this night, and I am sorry, but I must leave you. We'll be in touch, and
Was a
of
pleasure.
course, let me know if anything happens. Be careful on your adventures, Ezra."
well, you'll know as soon as I do as events transpire.
Sounds good. He exits. Anything else for you?
I quickly write up 2 notes and slide them under Matashtai's and Ash's
Just
door.
door like, yo!
Oh fuck! The
All right,
open
Aster. His
lord
name was
of
Aster.
Waterdeep
Yeah.
wants 10 a.m. sharp at blah 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 castle. Don't have anything planned.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Matashtai, what's happening for your day?
I'm selling shit.
Okay, you sell shit. So, are you doing the collector stuff? You go to Shalara.
I'll take the collector
Shalara
stuff
is
over
gonna be
there.
like, here's the thing. When you arrive at Shalara, you're made to wait for a brief amount of time before, because Shalara is of lower-ish nobility, so she has, staff, and you sit in a drawing room and wait and entertains you, etc. But when you bring in these two pieces, Shalara's basically like she pauses for a moment. Do you have any idea whether or not you will come into more items like this in the near future?
I don't know for sure, but we've been getting deeper and deeper in the.
The only reason I ask is this is now the second and third item of intrigue and repute that you have brought forth to me in a relatively short amount of time. If you want to make a really big splash on the scene, what we need to do is set up an auction. But to do that well, we need a couple of items, right? 5, 10. 5 is fine. 10 is maybe a bit too much, depending on the clientele we're looking for. But an auction is going to give you spectacle. It's going to allow you to drive up the prices that you're looking for. And it's going to make you a name in the circles that I run in. Now, obviously, this is not something that you need to do. I can sell these items for you probably without much issue in the coming week. Find buyers for either one of them. They are well-prized items. But maybe think about it.
All right. Well, I'll need to run it by the rest of the crew.
And this is, of course, by the way, I want you guys to understand expressly, this is the NPC talking. This is not the DM talking. This is the NPC has motivations, because if you guys do like if you put together some big auction and she's getting a cut, right, then, you know, she's going to make even more money off of this big thing, you know?
Okay, so here's my thing. Mechanically, is an auction an opportunity for us to make more than we would get from her just selling it?
Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
An auction is pretty much guaranteed to net you more money. The issue is that it's going to take time to get more stuff to set up an auction, and then it's going to take the time of actually orchestrating and doing an auction. So that might not be a time investment that you guys are interested in doing. But the way Shalara will describe it to you, she'll tell you that she feels positive she can basically guarantee at least a 50% increase on what you would get.
50%, say.
At least, but keep in mind, you guys only have 2 items. She's recommending that you have at least 5 items, so you'd have to spend the time to find more items, and then it would take her at least, she gives you at least 5 to 10 days to set up and orchestrate a good auction, send out the invitations, find the right people, etc., etc. So this is kind of like a long-term investment. This is this is an investment that you guys might not see play out for 3 to 6 months. So
I
if
vote
that
we
is
sell these and curb the idea for later.
sure, it's plausible. But it's something, again, that's something that, again, this NPC is interested in. I am not trying to push you this way as a DM. I want to express that.
I feel pushed this way due to a DM.
Fuck you.
Alright, well, why don't you see what you can find for these now? I'm going to talk it over with my crew, and then maybe I'll swing by tomorrow and give you an update.
All right. If I don't see you tomorrow, I will send you a missive in the next couple days. It'll take me at least 3 or 4 days to find a suitable buyer, I'm sure, for either one of these pieces. Maybe longer, but hopefully not.
Sure. Sounds good.
Okay. Sounds like fun.
Then I leave.
Okay. You have a nice little tea and brunch and everything with her, and then you leave. Great. Fantastic.
Sick, dude.
I forgot, cat. I forgot to mention, before I left, I would have gone and taken Gallant out of the stables.
Nice.
And
Okay.
I'm riding him around town.
Riding him around town? Good.
Mhm.
Good
Let him
shit.
stretch his legs.
Fantastic. Okay. Where to next? What's up? What's the plan?
Let's see. I think on my list, Bones is working on the money thing, so I'm just not going to worry about that for now. I was going to get my bag of holding supplies restocked, so like filling back up on oil.
That type of stuff is super easy. Just deduct the money that you need to deduct and go from there. I trust you guys to be forthright with your purchases, your mundane purchases, and have it done. Unless you just really want to roleplay those moments where you're haggling over the price of oil for each, pint.
I'd give you a 7.
I'll give you a 6.
And then I'm gonna go to college.
All right. Okay. So you walk through the tunnel, past the music tunnel, past the Lady Dreaming, and into the New Olam's college facilities.
Yeah, I know that place.
And what's your plan? What are you trying to do?
I have found that I am not very persuasive when trying to talk to people, and I would like to get better at talking.
All right.
So I'm going to enroll in a debate course at the college.
I would like to word gooder.
I would like to gooder wooder. Okay, so here's the thing. You start asking around, and there actually aren't a lot of classes per se.
I need night
right?
courses.
In at this current point in time, and your schedule is a little wibbly wobbly to do something like a course, right? Even if there was one. So
I need the online courses.
It is recommended to you that you hire a tutor, right? That can work on your schedule when you're available, etc., etc. And you are pointed by a number of people to an individual, a very mysterious professor within the college that is known only as the Masked Man.
The Masked Man.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
What the fuck is going on here?
Do you seek this individual out, or do you look for something else?
How'd they make his checks out?
That sounds awesome. I'm gonna find the Masked Man.
So you wander around the campus asking directions here or there, and eventually make your way into a building that has a couple of different classrooms, and then offices for the teachers that utilize those lecture halls, etc. And you are guided to and find the office of the Masked Man, and it is actually labeled as the Masked Man. And
how do I not laugh at this guy in his face? Hello, I am the Masked Man.
You walk in, right, or you knock.
Wait, what if he's not masked? What if it's just a family name?
There's an answer, right, that says
the Masked Man the Third.
Come in, it's open, right? Just in a very nonchalant, straightforward voice. And as you open the door, you see across from the furnishing of this place is nice, but it's not overly anything else. It's just pretty basic. But it's nice. And sitting at a desk across the way is an individual in all black and gray, from head to toe, and over their face is a theater mask, a Talia and Mapolmini mask, one of the smiling and the frowning faces, right? Those things?
Oh, sure.
Except it's straight neutral face. And as you step in, the face the mask moves into this big, broad grin.
Nope.
And the voice beyond the mask says to you, it says to you, "Oh, I think I am going to be of great service to you."
Yeah, where can I get a Rorschach mask?
You're locked in here with me.
Matt.
I am the masked man.
Good, Matt. Laugh at him. It's funny. Haha.
He's terrifying, actually.
The smile is still just there.
Oh, I thought that's where you're going to end the session. I thought that was going to be like, I'm the masked man. End.
Nope, I'm not done yet. If I can still you guys for a little while longer, there's something else that I would rather end the session on. So,
well, hoping maybe you can teach me how to words good.
I'm assuming teaching you how to words good is not what you were just saying right then. You have a bearing about you. You don't words bad.
I guess I'm not bad at it, but I feel I could be a little more persuasive to some people.
Ah. You don't need me to teach you to words good. You need to teach me, well,
I teach you, huh?
other way around. You need me to teach you to be charming.
Oh my god,
Yes.
dude. Hello, sexy lady. It's me.
Matashtai!
I'm here. Take care of my baby.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
So, this individual looks at you and he says, I can most definitely help you with that. It will take some time, though. My services also do not come cheap.
That's alright. I'm an adventurer, make a lot of money. Don't really need a lot of stuff.
True.
I foresee a wonderful relationship. You hear in your mind, Zalar, or Valena, not Zalar, wrong mind person. Valena says, "Is he talking about something else? I'm really not sure."
Not sure either, but I'm real excited to find out.
All right. So the masked man brings you into his office, and he lays it out to you straight, right? Kind of like what his plan will be, how much it'll cost you, how long it'll take, right? So I'm just gonna lay that on you mechanically without any muss or fuss. The masked man can train you in persuasion, but in order to do that, you will need to spend a session with him. You will need, at the end of each session, you will make a check, right, to institute your training. And that'll be a persuasion check. You have to succeed 10 times to finally be trained. And it costs 25 gold each time. So this is a minimum of 10 sessions, 250 gold, right? But more likely it's going to be longer because you're probably going to fail some of those checks. And that
Could
shows
be
the learning process of you actually going through trial and error to get better at this.
Jeremy, what's the starting DC of these checks?
The DC is just 10.
Okay.
It is a neutral DC, but the problem is you have a fat goose egg in persuasion, so it's a 50-50 on whether. Now, if you can find ways to give yourself advantage, right, then you can use those opportunities to do that, right? But otherwise, this is like the fast track to becoming persuasive in the masked man's tutelage.
I drop 25 gold on the table and I say, let's get going.
He starts talking to you, and he doesn't just start talking to you. He starts handing you books right? Here, read this passage, page 275, third paragraph down. And he starts talking to you about the things that he wants you to focus on, right? Like, the portions of what being charming in his mind are. And it's, you as you're following, right? The face is incredibly emotive. Every time he starts talking to you seriously, right? Like the face goes down into a more neutral stance and it expresses the serious nature. But then he'll giggle and he'll laugh and he'll go back up into a smile. And sometimes, right, like when you fail or when you say something that he's kind of like, okay, that wasn't great, he gets a little dour and frowns. But at the end of it, I need you to roll me a persuasion check.
On
First
it.
of all, Matthew, we never words good. We words well.
Nice.
Oh no, I closed the wrong Chrome window. Hold on.
Rip. Oh, Mitch is done with D&D for tonight.
What do you roll? 1?
Poke.
I haven't rolled yet.
No,
He
he
clo-
logged
he
out.
accidentally
rolled.
closed the window.
I was trying to close 5e tools
Outta
and apparently
here.
closed roll 20.
Mhm.
Almost there.
It does have a roll 20 has a long like startup time, doesn't
Equation.
it?
It does.
Hey,
Hell
That-
yeah.
success.
That is one success. So I need you to
Oh.
track this, right? You have one success. You need
Need 9
10
more.
to become trained in this skill.
Okay.
So.
Wait.
All right, you spend a good deal of time with the masked man. It is an enjoyable experience. You feel like you are learning things. What do you do with the rest of your day?
Let's see what else is on here. I think that's really all I had for today. I'm gonna spend the rest of the time working on a talisman.
Okay, gotcha. Talisman work done and done. Evening passes. Also done and done. Unless there's anything that you guys need to cover that evening with each other, aside from the hey yo, Laeral Silverhand, 10 in the morning, that whole shtick. So everyone good to advance to the next day?
I think
Right.
I am.
Fantastic. So, if I am given liberties, obviously you guys are still going to be able to do whatever you want to for the end of the day, or for the rest of the days, but we're going to go ahead and advance to that 10 o'clock Pirgaron's Palace appointment.
Can we assume that we did the currency exchange beforehand, just
Yeah,
so
that's
that I
fine.
can
Again,
update that?
right, like all of that stuff, yeah, whatever we think we needed to take care of before is perfectly fine. And you guys aren't going to lose anything out of your day, by the way, for this. You're still going to be able to do the things that you had already planned. This is going to be a brief situation. So,
Oh boy!
you arrive.
Well.
You arrive at Pirgaron's Palace. Your arrival is noted. A steward sees you into the palace through a side door and escorts you. And as she does, she gives you instructions. She tells you that you are going to be led into a chamber, into the Great Hall. Actually, this is where you all first... This is where we started session 1.
There you go.
Where you met with Laeral and Mert and Vajra and Jareth Falcon and Melanor Fellbranch, the whole lot, right? This steward leads you to this location, tells you you are going to be led into a ceremony once you are called for. You are to walk to the middle of the room, standing before Laeral. You are to wait for her instruction. You are not to speak. And you are to, when you are dismissed, exit without question. And then the steward asks each of you, is there anything you do not understand?
Crystal clear.
I mean, yeah,
No.
but
I say kind of under my breath, good thing Bones isn't here.
Why? Because I don't understand things?
No, because you
you're the
won't
one
abide
person
by
that might be
rules.
sassy, right? In the middle of this shit.
Oh, I mean, yeah, probably.
Oh, that's actually
that's
really funny.
reasonable.
That's hilarious how that turned out. So, you are led into an antechamber, and you wait there for about 20 minutes until that
Just
steward
pacing.
opens the door and motions you forward, and you are led into the Great Hall. And within the Great Hall of Pirgaron's palace, it's this long chamber, probably 60 or 70 feet long. There's not a set of thrones at the end of it, but there is a raised dais and a series of seats. In the middle seat of this raised dais is Laeral Silverhand, sitting there, regal, open Lord of Waterdeep, immensely powerful in both presence and actual skill. And she just commands the room. You, almost out of instinct, but also from your instructions, begin to march forward towards the center of the room. On the right side, there is some sort of screen that is blocking your view, but you can see the silhouettes of people behind it. On the left side, there are two groups of people. One group off to one side, the southern, southwestern section of the chamber, is common folk, not dressed in rags or anything like that, but regular citizenry of the city. And then in the northwest, kind of off past where Laeral is sitting, there is a group of very refined individuals dressed very well, seemingly of some sort of nobility. As you march forward, there is silence. No one is talking in the entire chamber at all in any way, shape, form, or fashion. The only sound that you can hear is the sound of your steps and the sound of the steward, because the steward is accompanying you as well, right? Once you arrive at this central standpoint, this halfway point, you actually realize that you are in between the two groups, right off to the left, and the screen on the right is actually split, and you can see into this section, this body of about 20-ish people, all standing there in the same black vestments with masks over their face. And you stop, and there's a few heartbeats that pass as no one says or does anything. And then Laeral speaks loudly and clearly. Who stands before me? There's silence. And all of the masked individuals to your right, at the same time in a chorus of voices, say, Slayers from the deep, saviors in our streets. Laeral speaks. For what deeds shall they be known? The masked individuals speak again. Troll slayers, slaver slayers, tyrant slayers. Laeral speaks again. New wardens of the high road walk among us. The masked lords speak. New guardians of the path, new wardens on the road, guide us true. Laeral speaks. United we stand. And then the masked lords repeat. United we stand. Silence in the room again. And that steward steps forward, opens a box, walks in front of each one of you and pins a little silver hand onto each of your outer clothing, and then hands one to whoever is last in line, right, as the fourth pin.
Probably me, because that's my habit.
And then
Let's grab it.
there is this almost kind of like release across the entirety of the chamber, as if everyone's breath had been held prior to this. And Lerol speaks again clearly, but with less of the authority and weight that she had previously. And she says, "We thank you, new wardens of the High Road, and we hope that you will continue to serve the great city splendors." And then she nods at the steward, and the steward nods at you, and she says, "You're dismissed." And that group of commonry and that group of nobility start quietly murmuring amongst each other. And as you are exiting, you hear these murmurs of Haldau, Xanathar.
Oh shit.
Oh no!
And you realize, or maybe if you don't, you're being
so
told
about getting
now,
those wards up, boys.
your presence, your splash, is being felt in the City of Splendors. 111 episodes ago, you stood in Pirgaron's palace, and I believe I told you when you exited that you were not heroes yet. That is no longer the case.
Hey!
Hey, we're heroes.
But with your heroics come a new responsibility, a weight, and eyes upon you as the new wardens of the High Road. And that is where we are going to end tonight's session. We'll be back next week for more, or I think next week. We'll be back next session for more downtime activities, and we'll get through those and see what the next step of our adventure is going to be for our party. So thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye
Bye.
forever.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.